violence during the lockdown imposed in states due to the coronavirus pandemic. Joining me to discuss this is a social development lawyer and a child protection and parenting expert, Taiwa Kilami. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be with you this morning.
All right. Now, it seems COVID-19 pandemic seems to have stirred some level of the spike in domestic violence and even child abuse. Recent reports across the world, not just in Nigeria, from Wuhan, Italy, the UK, you find that there is a spike in the cases of domestic violence. How much of a concern is this for you?
Well, it's a major concern. In my advocacy, I have called attention to that a couple of times, recognizing the fact that people are under a lot of pressure. They're under social pressure, financial pressure, economic pressure. And so because of that, there is a lot of tension in the family. And so because of that tension, a lot of people suffer from what I call transferred aggression. So that has been on the increase, not only in Nigeria, as you have said. UNICEF has called attention to that. WHO has called attention to that. So it's a major issue. In Nigeria, it's also a major issue. I have come, even when there was no coronavirus and there was no lockdown, domestic violence is a major issue in Nigeria. And so it's a lot of concern, and a lot of people feel helpless. And but for me, that there's a lockdown should not be a reason why anyone should tolerate any form of domestic violence.
But as much as they do not want to tolerate any form of domestic violence, should they resort to self-help? Because most of the shelters and any other form of organization that could come up to help are shut down at this point.
Well, let me speak for Lagos State. Those organizations are not shut down. They are regarded as they are regarded under essential services. For example, in Lagos State, the organization that is responsible on the front row of responding to domestic and sexual violence response team is to domestic violence in Lagos State is domestic and sexual violence response team, and they are at work. They produced a video recently where they made numbers available. I've been in Zoom meeting with them, strategizing, discussing on the way forward, how to respond during this pandemic. Not only that, there are NGOs that are working with DSBRUT, that are Child Protection Network Lagos State is also an umbrella body under which is an initiative of UNICEF, which is available to work with people that have cases of domestic violence. All they just need to do is to put a call through, and I can assure them something will be done.
Speaking about putting a call through, from some of the reports that I read online, there are persons who have complained of not being able to make calls, and because their partners or whoever is perpetuating the domestic violence is not allowing them make these calls. I wonder what other options they have that you can suggest at this point.
Well, if you're okay, in Lagos State, there's what we call mandatory reporting, particularly when it comes to children. And if your partner does not allow you to make call, your partner cannot stop you from shouting, particularly if you live in a place where you have neighbors. It is the sensitization that has been on, that be your brother's keeper. If you see something, you say something. If you say something, you must ensure that something is done. So if your partner, for example, if you're a woman or a man, I don't want it to be lost on me that men are also victims of affected people by domestic violence. So if you are affected one way or the other, you find a way, be creative. You can find a way to pass a note to a neighbor, you can shout, whatever you have to do, because you see, domestic violence must not be tolerated at this time. Everybody is under pressure. And I've advised couples, I've told them that, you see, this pandemic is for a period of time. Whatever you make people feel at this time is going to be forever. So it is important we take that into consideration, and we are careful how we relate with our spouse or our partners at this very, very trying time.
How about children who also find themselves in some level or form of abuse at this point? What measures or what steps can they take in form of self-help?
Well, children, unfortunately, are not able to help themselves, but it is important to also note that a child is anybody below 18. So we are talking about two categories of children. Children that know how to fend for themselves, how to protect themselves, how to cry out, and children who do not. For those who do not know how to cry out for themselves because of their age, we enjoin neighbors to be on the lookout, to be their brother's keeper. For those who can shout, who can speak up, the Ministry of Youth and Social Development in Lagos State, Child Protection Network Lagos State are available to ensure that children are protected. Now, if you go online, you Google DSBRT, you Google Ministry of Youth and Social Development, or you talk to a neighbor. What we encourage children to do is that if you talk to your neighbor does not listen to you, talk to another neighbor. If that neighbor does not talk to you, keep talking until someone listens. You know, there will always be a third party that may be interested around you. You may not find such person immediately, but if you keep trying, if you refuse to keep quiet, you refuse to accept abuse as a fait accompli, definitely there will be help one way or the other.
All right, Taiwo Akinlami, thank you for speaking with us.